Hi all, this is Rex King again. The purpose of the Watchtower Bible and Tract Society and the Jehovah's Witnesses, as per their prior pledges and commitments throughout the years, is to be led by divine guidance. These videos that I have presented in this series has proven beyond all doubt that the current governing body of Jehovah's Witnesses are inept for the roles that they claim to be leading right now in this organization. And it's obvious who Jehovah has designated to take the lead in pulling together a group of brothers that'll be able to lead this organization into the future in a spiritual, loving way and guide it to become a social organization that'll be able to help people to be able to manifest the life of their dreams. If you haven't watched the video that I just did prior to this, with this slide that's behind me, with this image behind me, please watch it now. Because in that video, I explained this slide completely and how inept and how purposeless that they have become. And the only real purpose left for this organization is to create it into a social organization that can help its members and anybody that might want to be part of it in the future if they choose, and help people to stay and leave if they choose, whatever. But help people to be the best they can be, so that they can manifest the life of their dreams. If they want to be a doctor or a garbage man, you know, whatever's your dream, and so that you can be the best one. You know, because if you're a garbage man, you probably want your free time to do something else, like maybe to develop an art or some skill that's personal to you, to play the guitar. Because yeah, I'm a garbage man today, but in 5 years, I'm going to be a professional musician. I'm going to be able to play guitar like, you know, Eric Clapton. Wouldn't that be nice? If we had been encouraged to do stuff like that when we were young, how successful we might have been. Anyway, with that previous, this image right here, in my explanation in the previous video, was basically an explanation of the power of ignorant manifesting. The governing body manifested and has been manifesting this devil into the literature because of its interpretation of the scriptures in a juvenile way. And because it has been manifesting it, we're getting it. Because you reap what you sow. And these people are leading this organization, putting this in the literature and publishing it out, and look what we're getting. A perfect example of this is what's happening in the world today, and it's the ex-president that's a traitor to the country, tried to overthrow the government, doing everything he can to muck up the works to keep people from finding out what he really is. You know, always, even the FDI's honor has been reproached now. I mean, you know, and it's reproached because the previous president, the man that's actually claiming it should be reproached, is the one that caused it to have any reproach it's got already. So the reproach he caused it, he's claiming, gives him evidence of his innocence. I mean, that's what this is, the same thing. This devil that the Watchtower Bible and Tract Society has created has given the necessity to create a world to overcome the devil. Because you created the devil. You manifested the devil. It's exactly what Eve did. The Watchtower Bible and Tract Society have created into a business model. I mean, it's what it is. It's the... You know, anybody that wants to start a new religion and wants to be able to have a little flock that they can push around and do what they want, follow the business model of the Watchtower Bible and Tract Society and teach people about how bad the devil is and how you need to protect them from the devil and get these innocent people to believe you until they can't stand it no more and run up to the top of a bridge and jump off. Yeah. You know, or die thinking something that's completely irrelevant and wasting their life because they never developed their life into a practical way because they filled it up with BS of the devil. You know, we all have only so much energy and so much whatever in our lives. And if we spend, you know, so many hours a week preoccupied with protecting ourselves from the devil, we don't have any time to live. And our life has become preoccupied with a complete nonsense. The power of ignorant manifesting. I mean, that's what this is. This is proof positive that the governing body have no clue what they're doing. Absolutely no clue. They happen to like to go out in the field service and talk BS and smile and talk in front of people and be the big shot. And they did that good enough to where they all gathered together and be able to create a little club that are clueless and evidently like to drink scotch from what I can tell. I mean, give me a break, man. These people are, and they're leading people to their deaths. Look, what the previous president did to this country. I mean, how many people are dead right now because of COVID unnecessarily? Even witnesses that are dead unnecessarily because of that president that was incompetent. You know, a criminal president. Well, we got a criminal governing body over running Jehovah's Witnesses, well, running what's supposed to be God's organization, manifesting a devil unnecessarily because they interpret God wrong. Because they think God to be petty and have done this. That he would give you free will and then not allow you to exercise that free will and put a devil blocking you and making it impossible for you. And in fact, not only that, making you think that God's mad at you and you're an imperfect thing and you've got all because you were born ignorant as a rock and you need to overcome it and it takes time. You know, you have to be, you know, if you're going to be something, if you're going to have a free will, you have to actually create it. You know, just because you can have everything, you can have quantity, everything. How do you have quality? Is that something you can just snap with your fingers? Oh, yeah, you could say, oh, I want to be one thing. Yeah, you could be that one thing, but that's not quality. That's just one thing. Well, God is one thing. He's one substance, and he wants that substance to become whatever it wants to become. Okay? That's what he wants. And he doesn't need a devil blocking people from becoming what they want to become because somebody thinks that they want them to be their way. You know, it's just not necessary. It's just not. It's manifesting a life that's, you know, it's a tax unnecessary. You know, I mean, this is, you know, why was the United States founded in the first place? To get rid of unnecessary taxes, okay? Well, the devil is an unnecessary tax on our psychology today. It's just an unnecessary tax. If you want to believe in God, do it, okay? Believe in God properly. And God doesn't have a devil. He's got children that are ignorant. He may have a spirit creature that's ignorant, but that spirit creature is no different than you with regard to your relationship with the all. And so why should he be able to interfere with you and your relationship with the all? No matter what he thinks, no matter what he cares, no matter what the governing body thinks or cares, what should that have to do with my relationship with God? God knows I'm sincere. God knows I'm doing my best. God knows if I made a mistake and I'm sorry, that I request that he help me to learn whatever necessary, that I don't do that again because I don't want to. My conscience doesn't want to feel that kind of sorrow because of things it did, causing pain and sorrow to others. I mean, it's about, you know, it's about what love really is, not what you think it is. I mean, love is knowing what's going on down. I mean, does mankind love the earth properly right now? Well, no. Why? Because it's excessive use of carbon. And because of that, things are getting out of kilter, okay? It's not loving the earth right. So the symptoms of not loving properly is bad things are happening. Well, if bad things are happening among the members of the organization of Jehovah's Witnesses, it's not that the members of the organization, the members have the problems. It's the teachings that the members have been taught have the problems. You know, that's the point I'm trying to get. You know, Jehovah's Witnesses have a lot of symptoms, but the governing body are the ones that's you know, creating those symptoms, you know, with a false teaching. Because while you're preoccupied with the devil, you're not learning how to manifest the life of your dreams, you know, because you're preoccupied with grade school bullshit. I mean, I don't know what else to call it. So anyway, I forgot exactly what I said I wanted to call this thing at the beginning, but what I wanted to do is to help. Yeah, I think it was. I wanted everybody to understand that. As far as I'm concerned, I should be the governing body right now of Jehovah's Witnesses from the viewpoint in a headship role, so that I could evaluate these brothers and determine what the hell they've been doing and what they've been going on, so that we can figure out where things are. As far as I know, if they've all been sincere as heart attacks, but just sincerely blinded by their own bullshit to be able to, their own bullshit, because that's what that is. And get somebody in there. And I don't know the brothers that well. I'll have to talk to the brothers and help them. You know, I don't know where other people are. I know there's other people out there that's doing stuff on the YouTube and in other places, you know, ex-Jehovah's Witnesses that are sincere as me, just trying to help the brothers to recognize what's, you know, reality is, and not, you know, go off the cliff like lemmings. I mean, basically, brothers, everything in the Bible is true to the extent, and you can understand that truth to the extent you can understand it accurately, okay? And to a great extent, the brothers have accurately interpreted the Bible with regard to, you know, a sequence of events that would occur, okay? In reality, they haven't really changed that much from Christendom, although they would like you to think they have. For instance, the Trinity doctrine is really BS. It really is. If you go to the video I did on manifesting, you notice there's a triangle on the screen. That's the Trinity process. Manifesting, this is the Trinity process. Manifesting the life of your dreams. And Jehovah's Witnesses have made you afraid to know what that really means. Now, don't get me wrong. Christendom don't know what it means anymore either. But the point is that Jehovah's Witnesses are saying, I'm the one that knows. I'm the one that the God of all, you know, on the top of the hill, you know, you should know. You should know what the Trinity means. And the Trinity is the manifesting process. And if you haven't watched the video I've done on manifesting yet, you'll see what it is. So you want to manifest something. I think I talked about it in the video prior to this. If you want something, the way you manifest it is you visualize it, you picture what you want, okay, and then you create a path to get to it. And so in the instance of wanting to learn a trade, as you say, I decide I want to be some trade. I want to learn to be a master carpenter, okay? And then you go about the path of spending your time learning how to be a master carpenter. First, maybe start going to school. First of all, learn basic stuff. And then from that, start reading technical books on carpentry and tools and wood and all the materials you'll be working with, so that you can get to a point where you can, you know, get go in and maybe become an apprentice, or just start working on your own, and through you know, your own trial and error with wood and so forth, and having read good books so you can practice good safety practices and so forth. You know, learn to be a master carpenter on your own. In fact, I know someone, I think his name is Rodney, that did that basically on his own. You know, he didn't let Jehovah's Witnesses capture his life like most of his family were. He distanced himself from it, and he learned this trade, and he's a master carpenter. I think he works on yachts and goes all over the world, you know, has a wonderful life, you know. He's in paradise for all practical purposes, and he doesn't even know it. And but his family think they're in paradise, or they're heading to paradise, and they don't know it. They don't understand what they're even talking about, because they're trapped in this devil thing, you know. But anyway, I'm getting off track a little bit. But anyway, what I wanted to do was to let the brothers know that I'm available to be consulted to help you brothers to get this organization on track as the kind of organization it needs to be moving forward with regard to having a true relationship with the only true God, you know, Jehovah, the all, the oneness, not some petty guy who's got a devil controlling the show through a governing body, okay? You know, but we can get this thing set up to where everybody, all the brothers will be able to know for a fact that their conscience has been cleansed of any false teaching. Because the fact of the matter is, to the extent the brothers have been teaching the truth, you know, from that beginning, that core beginning, you know, good morality and trying to have good work habits and all that good stuff, you know, almost to be a good person to live on earth, okay? Well, now it's time to learn how to actually be a good person living on earth, and this is the earth you're being given. I remember the joking that we used to do sometimes in the field service. I don't know what started that kind of stuff sometimes, but, and about, oh yeah, once all these people are gone and dead from these houses, we're just going to move in. Well, that ain't going to happen, okay? If you want one of those houses, you're going to have to learn how to work and get one of those houses. You know, you're going to have to actually learn how to manifest the life, use your free will to manifest the life of your dreams, and then you'll have the life of your dreams. You'll be in paradise because you worked your ass off and you got it, okay? Not, you didn't work your ass off for the Watchtower Bible and Tract Society, but you worked your ass off for yourself, okay? I think all the brothers that, instead of working their ass off for the Watchtower Bible Tract Society, would have stayed at home and developed their businesses, their electrical businesses, their carpentry businesses, their whatever businesses. Develop those businesses, and in developing those businesses, being able to hire people around them, their family and others, so that they can be taught how to learn trades and do well. Man, if that's not a preaching work in itself, I don't know what it is. Being the best man you can be so that you become a master at a trade to the point where you can start a business, and then you start providing other people with business or work opportunities so they can make a living and do well and learn a trade so that they can do what they want into the future. I mean, if that's not paradise, what is it? And yet the Watchtower Bible and Tract Society is consistently blocking it from ever happening because we're watching out for the devil all the time. Okay? I mean, that's it. So, anyway, how far this is going to go, I don't know. I'm just going to keep doing these videos as the Spirit inspires me so that I can keep exposing what these good men and women are allowing themselves to be subjected to because they have been trained by these people to allow themselves to be subjected to this because that's what was manifested by these men, whether on purpose or by accident, you know. I like to think that the past president is a dumb idiot, okay, that just happens to stumble into accidentally overthrowing the government, you know, and accidentally stealing all kinds of top secret documents that puts people's lives at risk and people in the government and the whole country at risk, you know, and accidentally believes in things that or nonsense once you scratch the surface a little bit. They're not helpful, not beneficial, not good for mankind at all. And if that's true, how could a loving God do this? I mean, Jesus point blank said, you know, avoid the devil, reject the devil, and draw close to God, and I will be with you. And yet Jehovah's Witnesses, through the governing body of today, insist that the devil stay a part of your life in this powerful way to where you can never really do what Jesus said do because, you know, the governing body has to be there to, you know, to keep it from ever happening for real. Yeah. The reason why you can't be one of the anointed is because the Jehovah's Witnesses through this governing body is blocking it from happening. Can't you understand what I'm saying? One of the anointed is someone that knows how to run their life. Someone knows how to use their free will to actually accomplish what they want to accomplish. Look, years ago, my purpose was to figure out what this organization was doing, whether consciously or unconsciously, that was obviously leading it in a direction that was not according to Bible principles, okay? And it took me 63 years to finally figure it completely out. I have been working at this for years and years and years, okay? I mean, if I had known this 2 years ago, you'd know it 2 years ago. That's what I'm trying to say. I'm finally piecing all the pieces together. And because that was what I've been manifesting all of my life. When I was a little boy, I remember telling myself, I remember sitting in my front yard, listening to my mom and dad yelling at each other, probably about Jehovah's Witness stuff, okay? And saying, you know, if this is real love, I don't want nothing to do with it. I said, but I know that's not real love, you know? In other words, if this is real love, I don't want to have nothing to do with it. If this is what Jehovah's Witnesses teach and insist on teaching through this governing body, I have renounced this organization for anything that it does in any way, shape, or form. You know, as someone that grew up in it, that knows it from the viewpoint of the God it says it represents, I renounce it 100%. If this governing body refuses to accept the fact that this is simply ignorant thinking, looking at the Bible from an immature viewpoint, and if the rank and file will not intervene and recognize that these men are completely unqualified and they are basically destroying people's lives needlessly. And again, this organization cannot continue to be a religious organization, but none can. I mean, the Bible is being fulfilled today. Revelation is being fulfilled. What is happening? The harlot is dying. What is the harlot? Religion, period. All religion is false religion from the viewpoint that it's unnecessary anymore. Even this religion that was probably necessary in the past to manifest things into existence so that thing that would come into existence would be able to learn what it needed to learn so that it would be able to present a finished free will, you know? In other words, what God couldn't do when he created Adam and Eve, he couldn't sit down and give them this lesson because they wouldn't have understood it. Yeah, you know, what is the devil? There was no experience, okay? What is the world like when you allow some evil concept, this ignorant concept, to control things? Well, we know. And the thing is, unfortunately, it's only one issue, because as soon as you get rid of this, everything snaps into place. Bam. Okay? In other words, the governing body right now are saying, we're in the last of the last days of Armageddon. The fact of the matter is, Armageddon has begun. On the video I did about dear governing body and other sheep, you know, I mentioned about that memorial. Well, that was the last memorial, and that was several years ago. See, that's what I'm trying to say. Jehovah has made me aware. See, as long as there's a memorial, then Jehovah's Witnesses can keep, you know, Armageddon hasn't happened until Jesus comes and the memorial is fulfilled, okay? Well, Jesus came and the memorial was filled several years ago, and so Armageddon began. But the brothers are still saying we're in the last of the last days of the last days of Armageddon. But the thing is, it already began, okay? Well, what is Armageddon? The Armageddon is disinformation. This is Armageddon. Armageddon kills the devil. Jesus kills the devil. Well, look, I was born in 1959, okay? In 1958, the Watchtower Bible and Tract Society had a convention, okay? So a year before I was born, the Watchtower Bible and Tract Society had a convention. I think it was called the Goodwill Convention or something like that. 1958, okay? And basically at this convention, see, the conventions back then, what they did is I don't know what they called them exactly, but they pledges of allegiance where people actually swore an oath to what was said. They basically make a proclamation and they would swear an oath. And some of these proclamations had to do with a Christ coming and solving all the problems on the world, killing the devil, so that Armageddon can be concluded and paradise come in, okay? Well, in 1958, they did some vows like that, some pledges and so forth. It was over. There was probably at least 250,000 people present. Jehovah's Witnesses, loyal Jehovah's Witnesses, as sincere as they are today, but much more spiritually aware than the brothers are today. And they swore all these oaths and so forth. And 1 year later, guess what? I'm born. And a few years later, I become exposed to this organization, and my whole life becomes preoccupied with this thing, to the point where I know it's wrong, but I believe in it because I know there's some truth behind it and everything. So I get away from it. I go and I study all the literature I possibly can in the world to figure things out. And here we are. So basically what I'm saying is I am a product of what the Watchtower Bible Tract Society did in 1958. And I'm not the only one. And just because I happen to be born a year later doesn't mean that some couldn't have happened sooner or later than me. People that have begun to realize, hey, look, this isn't, believing in the devil isn't the way. Now, I might be on the point. I might be the one that has really got down to the very brass tacks of the problem, and it's the devil. Because without the devil, everything falls into place. And so what I'm saying is, if you're a dedicated, loving of Jehovah Witness, everything's been fulfilled. Armageddon is done, and that's why I'm here. That's why I'm explaining this. I'm proof positive that Jesus has come. Okay, I mean the scriptures say is not to believe an angel. It says even if an angel from heaven comes to tell you something different, don't believe him. Well, I'm not an angel. I grew up in this organization. It taught me whatever. I'm a manifestation of it, as far as I'm concerned. The scriptures say that Jehovah tells a person, what they are before they actually, he gives them information ahead of time before he does it. So the governing body didn't know what was going on, but I did, and I'm explaining it to you now. And I can explain it to you even from my birth, that it's obvious that that's what happened. They manifested something into existence, and so the oneness was looking for appropriate candidates that would be born, that could be utilized to give the world what it needed, which means that person would have to manifest a life, would have to live a life that would be able to come to the point where he could understand all of this stuff that Adam and Eve could not figure out once they got trapped into it. Now, once they got trapped into it, I do a video. I actually have some videos that's just audio. I show pictures and have audio, and I talk about the explanation of the devil. And I use an illustration about Adam and Eve. It's like they fell into a well mentally. So let's just follow me with this illustration. Imagine Adam and Eve, the only two people on earth, okay, and they fall into this well. Because they're the only two people on earth in the Garden of Eden, and this well is deep, they can't reach to get out, they're stuck. Okay, so they said, well, let's just go ahead and live down here in this well for now. Well, that's like believing in the devil. They fell into a well. They believed in this layer of unnecessary whatever, and because of that, they fell into the well mentally where they could not. They got sidetracked as developing a good life on earth because they interjected the devil in between. They wanted to go up the ladder of life, and before they could make the first step, they had to please the devil, and they didn't know how to please the devil, so it blocked them from making progress, and they get sidetracked. Especially if there's a religion out there that's on purpose keeping them sidetracked so that they can make a profit. Anyway, I hope I can get lost in this. What was I talking about? Anyway, all I'm saying is that Jehovah is real. and he runs the whole world, not just the Watchtower Bible and Tract Society and Jehovah's Witnesses. And he is not going to destroy most of the world just because the governing body insists on manifesting that into existence, okay? And so the reason why Rex King, this man that has learned how to work his free will with his experience to the point where he understands this kind of stuff and understands the power of manifesting, sees the urgency of letting the Watchtower Bible and Tract Society and the organization of Jehovah's Witnesses know how important it is not to manifest evil things on the earth, like teaching that most of the earth will be destroyed, the people are bad and wicked, and God is out to get them, so that us good few Jehovah's Witnesses that believe in the devil can live on the earth in peace and security once God gets rid of the devil. Well, instead of us just destroying the old earth and doing all that, why don't we just get rid of the devil first and not kill the people? Let's just get rid of the devil. And anybody that insists on believing the devil, let's just put them in sort of a little cage like we put the devil in. You know, that mental thinking of BS. You know, we know what it is. We smell it. We see it. You know, it's we know what the curl looks like when it's sitting on the ground. You know, those doggy flowers. Okay, well, that's what this is. That's what this teaching is. And when you see it, it smells. Brothers, when I actually get around you, I smell it. It's a nasty smell. This false teaching. It literally creates a smell. It's that awful. I mean, I don't know how else to describe it. Just believing in the devil. Because it makes you, see, what happens when I get with the brothers, I get on the phone, I get agitated, and that's why. It's because this stuff is so foul. It's so foul. You almost can't help but get agitated. In fact, my handling these videos as they come, I don't know if you've watched them yet, I'm doing my best to be as polite as possible through everything. Because, I mean, it's out of love. Everything I've done is out of love. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, this organization made it to where it's manifesting even before the people that are running it, or, you know, I mean, if probably every person on earth today that was at that convention that's still alive is you know, they have nothing to do with this society anymore other than they might be in a wheelchair somewhere. You know, they're not running the show. So they don't even know what happened back then, what these brothers were doing. You know, remember in the nation of Israel, how as time would go on in the book of Judges, the nation would go kind of astray, and then Jehovah would send another judge to come and say, hey, look, you know, y'all doing astray, y'all need to straighten this out and figure out that there's no devil and get on track, okay? Well, that's what we're doing right now. Jehovah's basically sending a prophet, you know, the prophet Rex King. I just find it so funny that my name is that name, King. You know, it's just funny. I mean, I was born with it. So anyway, and I've been, you know, basically the issue that Adam and Eve needed to resolve was they needed to be able to get their free will perfected. And what mankind has been doing individually and collectively is creating this free will of mankind, the range of whatever is appropriate for, you know, think of it like a bee. You know, what does a bee do? You know, a bee doesn't just go about stinging people on purpose, because once it stings somebody, it dies. You know, it would waste its efforts and it would shorten its life. You know, a bee just focuses on what a bee's supposed to do. And that's basically what we're doing, is we're creating the psychology of man and woman completed to where we're going to naturally want to be good people and naturally follow a good course. And we won't need a devil to watch over us or an organization to interpret it for us. Why? Because we already know. And that's where we're at now. That's what I'm saying, is this is God's purpose unfolding. Adam and Eve basically was the germ in the egg, and the egg has been developing into a chicken, and the chicken is the human family, not the individual, but the human family is going to be born from this egg. Think of it like a snake that's going to be, you know, when a snake breeds live young, you know, hundreds of snakes, how many? I mean, I guess it depends on the size of the snake, but many, many, many little snakes come out live, okay? And that's what we're talking about, is God created the possibility for us as little snakes to, you know, at one time being born and developing to where we create a collective free will that's going to, you know, be the human mind, the human family. You know, all those little snakes that go off to live their life, they know exactly what to do as a snake from day one. We humans, we've been given the privilege of learning how to, through training, you know, God has to be trained, quality has to be built in, you know, to train ourselves to overcome manifesting ignorant things and to start manifesting things that are to, you know, in harmony with our free will. You know, what does an individual, you know, want to do, want to be? And that's it. Look, I'm running out of gas on this one. I felt it was necessary to take this a little further to help to see the actual power behind what's causing this problem with this organization. And the power is faulty manifesting. And an example of that faulty manifesting is is this organization manifesting wicked things on the world. And because let me put it this way. Remember I said that back in 1958, the brothers basically, at this convention, basically said, brothers, y'all all vow or y'all pledge to that this is what we want. We want a Christ to come and to save the world from all these bad conditions and so forth and so on. Well, I believe that had power, and I believe I'm a result of that, okay? Well, if that's true, and I believe that, okay, and if the Watchtower Bible and Tract Society believes that the organization had any power then they should believe it too. If not me, someone, okay? Someone would present this information. I mean, the information wouldn't change, okay? And it comes down to this. If that is true, if everything I just described is true about me, and the organization today is manifesting on earth a cataclysmic destruction of most mankind, and there's several million Jehovah's Witnesses following this wicked thought that millions and billions of people would die, and it would have to be a cataclysmic destruction to where an Armageddon like a nuclear holocaust would be necessary to do it. And Jehovah's Witnesses right now, today, are praying for such a thing to come to this earth right now by means of their governing body teaching a devil that needs to be gotten rid of, and that devil controls 99% of the mankind except for Jehovah's Witnesses, and Jehovah's Witnesses in their numbers is on purpose manifesting an Armageddon, a nuclear holocaust on earth right now today, not realizing the power of God they have been given by not knowing how to manifest their lives properly, because this governing body has misguided them, and has them manifesting the most wicked thing on earth that could possibly be done. Manifesting most of mankind be destroyed because God wants it. And if you don't think that the problems that's happening on earth today is not a result of this organization doing that, what do you think all the things they were prophesying in the past about nuclear, about war after war after war, before World War I occurred? What were they prophesying? Before World War II occurs, what were they prophesying? Yeah, they got exactly what they were. Wars after war. They interpreted the scriptures and they manifested it into existence. So why has the world been following this Bible path as the way Jehovah's Witnesses have interpreted the Bible? Well, the reason why is because Jehovah's Witnesses have been manifesting that on the earth to their unwitting self. And right now we're looking at another possible world war because of what Russia's doing now. Well, fortunately, when I started publishing these videos, you know, the fortunes of war seem to be changing. Basically, I'm deflating this devil balloon that there has to be, that this manifesting this ignorant thing onto the earth this horrid, wretched thing that most people should die because the devil needs to be fed. Give me a break, man. It's so ignorant. And yet they're doing it today. So am I going to stop doing these videos until these brothers come to their senses and this organization collapses as a religion? So it will stop manifesting wicked things on the earth and start manifesting good things on the earth so that mankind will benefit from the power that they manifest on the earth? I mean, what are they doing with their free will? What is this organization doing with their free will other than causing misery on the earth by means of causing their own members to be unnecessarily restrictive because of BS teachings, and then projecting wicked thought, and then having those same people project wicked things onto the world? Well, you know, the Bible says you reap what you sow. You know what that means? It means if you give out bad, you get bad back 3 times. So you think this organization is going to be able to sustain life? What do you think I'm here? I'm here to destroy it, period. The concession of y'all keeping it a social organization is just that. It's a concession so that y'all can have some transitionary period. But eventually, I would think most would just leave it because it would be more important for them to be involved with their families, people that they know and love, instead of this group of people that they've come to know and love in some abnormal way because of ignorant teaching, destroying your families. My life as a child was destroyed when it got involved with Jehovah's Witnesses. Literally destroyed is the best I can say. And I'm being as, you know, not to get into any unnecessary details. It was destroyed. My family, my life, the life of my dad's family was taken from him. Any power he had to manage his family was completely interrupted in this group. No respect for the family arrangement whatsoever. Man had no power over his family when Jehovah came between them. Because you had to watch out for the devil, and if you didn't obey, the devil's going to get you. And so you obey them rather than your husband. You know, that's what they taught, and they teach to this day. Yeah, the devil's real important to these people. Look, I'm kind of played out. Hopefully, I made some sense with this. My intent is to, again, to expose this for what it is, because it needs to be exposed. And if at all possible, help lead this organization out of this dark dungeon that it finds itself in. Again, I'm doing videos on here. There's a lot of literature out there you can get to help you to learn to live in society. It's just a matter of learning how to be a friend of, you know, a successful businessman is businessmen, friends do friends with friends. And so if you're a good man, you're a good woman, and you need a job, and you are sincere and whatever, then you shouldn't have trouble getting a job and keeping a job and so forth. And that's just natural for everyone. It's not just for Jehovah's Witnesses like they teach. But what I'm trying to say is you know, a lot of what we've taught it's really, as more and more you realize how much you've really hurt people in life, and unnecessarily, and how rude you've been, and how you've brought the devil into people's lives unnecessarily, because you believe in the devil, you create the devil, you live in a devil world, so you actually bring the devil to other people, and it interrupts paradise, and that's what we are. Is a group of people at this point. In the past, again, I've said this in other videos, and I'm going to say this and then I'm going to conclude. In the past, we should accept that this organization had a purpose. Its purpose was fulfilled. For whatever the reason, the governing body got off track. Past manifesting bad things was fine. It needed to happen for mankind to learn lessons. This organization was used for that purpose. But it needs to stop manifesting bad things now, because that's not what we want to happen anymore. And it's not going to happen. But as long as this force from Jehovah's Witnesses is resisting, you know, think of this ex-president that's resisting reality and all the trouble he's causing on earth today because of it. Well, the Watchtower Bible and Tract Society is doing the same thing with their teaching. They're causing spiritual havoc by wanting to manifest. They're claiming to worship God, represent God, and in that, they've been able to collect a group of people that are sincere. And so all of these sincere people with good hearts are trying to manifest. They burn down their house to save the world.